Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Charla's TED Talks. Today is going to be a video on growth and self-discipline, how to implement self-discipline, how to minimize distractions, and all sorts of those things. So, if you're happy with your life, probably don't want to watch this video. But if you want to grow and do something with your life, please watch this video. Okay, so I'm gonna go over what growth means a little bit and then kind of get into the self-discipline aspect. If you would like to skip to the self-discipline aspect part, I will have a time thingy down below so you can click to whatever part is most beneficial for you. Growth, I feel like, is just staying consistent, but it's also being patient with yourself while you're moving towards your goals. And nothing's perfect, never going to be perfect, but growth is keeping a positive attitude and always trying your best at achieving those goals or those daily habits. A couple things I have, the opposite of growth is obviously like stagnation. It's not going out anywhere. It's not doing anything different. It's not changing. It's not creating new habits. It's keeping your habits, everything's the same, not trying to learn anything new, no experiments, no nothing. So a couple questions too that I try to ask myself, growth and change is always going to be uncomfortable. It's always going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to feel good. Doing new things, trying new things, learning new things, most of the time it's not very comfortable. And so some of the questions that I try to ask myself, when I don't want to do something is do you want to be comfortable or do you want to be uncomfortable? Obviously on that moment you want to be comfortable, but in the long term you want to be okay with being uncomfortable. You want to be okay with making those uncomfortable decisions and being in those uncomfortable situations so that you can grow and can become better. That's something I try to remind myself, is that it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's good. It means you're growing. It means you're doing something different. It means I'm doing something right, actually. But those are just a couple things I try to keep in mind. Sorry, don't mind me. I have my notes down here. When I am uncomfortable, when I'm not feeling very great, it's okay, well, do I want to be comfortable and stagnant, or do I want to be uncomfortable and grow? Another thing I wanted to mention was to be uncomfortable, your excitement for the future and for who you're going to be has to be greater than the fear of discomfort. It has to be greater than the fear of not wanting to be uncomfortable and doing new things. The excitement of being who you want to be and your goals has to be greater than your fear of being uncomfortable. You have to be okay with being uncomfortable to get where you want to go. This book has totally changed my life. I know I've mentioned it before. I feel like recently I didn't realize how much it impacted my life. But The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robins, I've mentioned this, I think I had a short little video about the 5-second rule, but seriously changes your life. Please read her book. It's so amazing. It just totally shifts your brain, you just know how your brain works. So basically, her example, when you're trying to get up in the morning, your alarm goes off, and you want to sleep in. Count down to 5. Before you hit 5, you have to get up. You have to put your feet on the floor to break that cycle of not wanting to be uncomfortable, if that makes sense. So it totally just changes your life. Just start doing it. Just anything that you're scared to do or that you don't want to do, count down to 5. Before you get to 5, just do the thing. If you do the thing, you, over time, I realize I'm quicker at making decisions. And also I don't overthink as much. And I'm able to do the 5-second rule without actually counting in my head. So in the morning, it's weird. It's kind of just a shock to your brain almost. In the morning when I want to sleep in, and anytime that pops into my head, oh, I want to stay in bed, I immediately get out of bed. It's like a trigger almost. Like, like I've built that habit so much. It's like, no, I'm going to get out of, like, as soon as my brain says, oh, I want to stay in bed, it's like, no, I need to get out of bed. Anyway, so I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. You should definitely read it. I can try to link it in the description below, like on Amazon or something. Now we're going to go into some of the self-discipline aspects of growth. Also, a couple of things before I move into forgot about these, but I have a couple questions that kind of help. If I feel like it's most helpful if you write them down and then answer them for yourself. The first one is obviously, I talked about this earlier, but is your excitement greater than your fear of being uncomfortable? Just be honest, like be completely honest. I want you to get excited about where you're going. You have to be excited about where you're going to go and where you want to end up. So first question, is your excitement greater than your fear of being uncomfortable? Just be honest, yes or no. The other question is, what can I be working on right now that will lead me to where I want to go in 5 years? What can I be doing? What are small habits that my future self has that I don't have? What's the gap there? Like, what am I missing? Like, why am I not her already? Like, what's the difference between us? And I want you to write those down, list of everything you can think of, like, you can do body, hair color, whatever, like anything you can think of, that's the gap between you and your dream self. And then I want you to think of, okay, what are some habits? Like, what can I do daily to get to her in 5 years? Like what, or a year, whatever, shrink your timeline. Like, what action can I take to be this person? Because to be that person, you have to become that person. To become that person, you have to actually do what they do. Anyway, so now onto the self-discipline aspect. Self-discipline is a lot. It's delaying temptations for now. It's delaying wanting to stay in bed. It's delaying eating ice cream. It's saying, no, I'm not going to do that. I want to stay on track to my goals. I don't want to keep tripping up every weekend. I go out and I eat dessert and I have all this stuff. Delayed gratification and self-discipline to me is also consistency. It's a huge, huge thing of self-discipline. Consistency is so, so important if you want to get anywhere. Consistency is habit making. It's also breaking bad habits, like breaking your bad habits, replacing them with good ones. That's what's gonna get you to where you want to go, to your dream girl. Here's a couple things that just will help with self-discipline. Like, I find a lot of times if you're like, oh, I never have time to work on my website, or I never have time to make videos, I never have time to do any of those things, like, okay, what is taking up your time? Is it your job? Don't you have time outside of your job? Do you sleep? No. But are you scrolling on social media? Are you watching Netflix shows? What is taking up your time? And a huge thing I feel is just eliminating those temptations. If you are so tired when you get home, you just want to sit down and watch Netflix, I think it's okay every once in a while, but you have to be able to create those habits. Now I don't even want to do that anymore because it's not beneficial to me. I want to do things that are really beneficial to me. Now, if I'm really tired, I'll read a book instead. At least I'm learning something. At least I'm benefiting to myself instead of just mindlessly scrolling. So that's one of the things that helps with self-discipline, is try to eliminate the things that are getting in your way. Try to eliminate, if you go to the grocery store and you always buy a whole bunch of junk food, but you're trying to lose weight or trying to be healthier, eliminate those foods in your house, throw them away. Do everything you have to do to eliminate temptations, because then it will be easier for you to make good decisions. When you surround yourself with things that aren't going to support your dream life and your dream self, it's going to be really hard to always be no, I'm not going to do that, when the people that you surround yourself with and the things that you surround yourself with are going against what your dream self is, what you want to be. Accountability is also a huge thing with self-discipline. You have to be willing to say, I messed up. I shouldn't have done that. That wasn't a good decision. Like, instead of blaming it on your circumstances or how you're feeling and all that stuff, like, you have to be able to take accountability for your own actions. Once you take accountability for your own actions, that allows you to improve your future actions because you want to change yourself. You want to be a different person. You don't want to be that same person anymore. You want to grow. So when you take accountability for those actions, instead of blaming it on your circumstances and everybody else in your life, you will be more empowered to make good decisions for yourself. Also, like, when you do good things and you are creating good habits, like, reward yourself. Reward yourself with a rest day, like, reward yourself, like, if you've really been working hard, really been doing, like, I feel like that is what makes it attractive. Like, when you make progress and when you keep rewarding yourself and you see the progress that you're making, like, I mean, that's kind of a reward in itself, is you seeing the progress that you're making, but just notice that progress. Notice how much you're doing, notice how much you're learning, notice, like, how much you're working to become better. And that in itself really helps with staying consistent, being motivated, and all the time. Yeah, you're not going to be motivated all the time, but it helps keep that cycle of you wanting to create good habits and be better. It is super important to have clear goals, to know where you're going. That's why I mentioned before, like, what is the gap? What does she have that you don't? Like, outline that. What does she look like? Does she have longer hair than me? Like, is she more fit? Does she have more muscle? Like, is she skinnier? Outline the gap. What is the difference? Like, does she have more money? That's one of my things. Does she have more money than me? Outline the gap. Set clear goals to get to that. Like, you want to have a clear outline of where you're going. Otherwise, you're not going to know where you're going. Also, like, a huge thing for me is keeping my routines. Having routines set, like, not being wishy-washy all the time and kind of going with the flow. Like, I have my routines. I stick to my routines. I do those. I always feel... Don't mind Rex. He's looking. He's just... He does not care. Anyways, sorry about the interruption. But, yeah, like, having those routines, daily habits, like, I always feel so much better when I actually get my routine done and I do it. I feel like I made progress for that day. I feel like I'm one step closer to who I want to be. It just makes you feel better. And then you are kind of rewarding yourself in the same time, like, oh yeah, I did that. Like, be proud of yourself. Be happy for yourself. Like, I'm moving towards who I want to be. I want to encourage you guys to also notice that you are doing good and what you're working towards. Notice how hard you're working. Write it down. I'm so proud of myself. I did this today. Also, another thing I've been trying to keep track of is noticing my successes in the day. Like, okay, what did I do good today that was really good? Like, I've been challenging myself to really see the positive in life, and, like, I do this all the time. When I see something cool or someone's wearing something super cute and I don't just give them a compliment, like, I'm really challenging myself to break that habit and to say, that is so cute. I love that. Like, it makes me feel better because I said, like, and actually genuine, not like fake compliments, not just like trying to whatever, but like genuine compliments. Like, I feel better. I feel like I said what I felt, and I feel like I'm giving kindness out into the world. And also, I made the other person feel good too. So it's like win-win. Just writing those successes, that's just a success thing that I've been working on lately. So like, writing those things down, that this is what I did good today. This is what I really, like, I'm proud of myself for doing. I'm working on these things, and I love myself, and I love that I'm doing that for myself. Anyways, I think that's all I had for the video. I hope this video was helpful. And I hope you got some good ideas for habits that you want to create in your life. And just work on that list, that gap. You want to close that gap. Zoom in. What is the difference? Like, what's the difference between you now and you in the future? What is that? What does that entail? Work on that. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day today, and I hope this video was helpful. And thank you for watching. Bye.